Welcome to this episode of Let's Make Millions. Recently, I was able to sit down with Wargula Shawn Wells of Transformation Protein. They're a client here at Canella Media. We do a lot of their digital, social, YouTube. We've got them on TV as well. They have an incredible product that they've developed called Transformation Protein. 30 grams of protein in every scoop. A lot went into the development of this product. Shawn Wells happens to be one of the world's greatest formulators. He talks extensively about why protein is good for you, what goes into this protein mix, and what has made it so successful. Wargula is the face of Transformation Protein. You can check them out on social media. They've done very well with this, and it's an interesting story from a marketing standpoint to understand how they got to be where they are today. As part of Let's Make Millions, we also have a facet called Let's Give Millions, where we donate to the charity of our guest's choice. Wargula's charity of choice is stashstrong.org. There's a personal piece to it there, as his little brother has struggled with brain cancer. And Stash Strong devotes their funds to brain cancer research and awareness. So it's a good thing. Check them out. But also check out this episode of Let's Make Millions, where we learn about everything Transformation Protein.
Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown. And you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. So good, so fresh.
There we go. Welcome to Let's Make Millions, the Canella Media Studios here in Santa Monica, California. I'm Rob Medved, CEO of Canella Media. Two awesome guests today, Wargula and Shawn Wells from Transformation Protein.
Yep.
And the formulator of Transformation Protein. And you just got in from Dallas, Texas. So
I did, and
welcome.
it was quite the travel in.
Rolling in hot.
Yeah. Welcome. We're glad you made it. And I love your Air Jordans, too,
Oh, thank you.
even though
Thank
you're a
you.
Dallas fan.
You know, well, I know you're a Lakers fan, but
All right.
we'll see how things end up this
Yeah,
year.
we do what we do. So
We're not going to bring the Bucks into this. All right, come on, guys.
I mean, they're a good team.
I mean,
They're heir
you're
apparent.
right there, number two in
Okay.
the league right now.
probably.
I mean, LeBron, Giannis, and Luka is a pretty good mix right there.
Yeah, for sure. Good company.
Yeah, man.
Let's start with how you guys met.
Well, how we met. Well, transformation had already been started. We were in the very, very early stages of the business, marketing the product, and one of the things as I look at the business and I look at our products, I mean, transformation's in the name, and we've got to keep continuing to transform ourselves, right? And I was looking at our formula, and while it was an incredible formula and arguably the best formula in the marketplace, I still felt it could be better.
Mm-hmm.
And I was still exploring my own health journey, my own path. So listening to a lot of podcasts, listening to a lot of different people, reading a lot of research, and I just so happened to stumble across this guy Shawn Wells on a handful of podcasts that I really, really enjoyed and found value in. And he was speaking about the industry, speaking about supplements, speaking about all the things that people do right and wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And he was speaking my language, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of my history even came from the manufacturing side. So he was speaking exactly how I feel. He was my belief system, and I'm like, I gotta meet this guy. So I kind of started on a man stalking mission to
You man stalked him?
to meet.
He's a good looking guy.
to
but
mean
geez.
Shawn.
Really?
And
Is that what he did? Like all in your DMs? And you're like, dude, leave me alone.
He was hitting me up on my OnlyFans. It was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
But you finally caved. You finally
No,
caved. Because
look.
you're kind of known as like the world's greatest formulator, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of your
No,
thing.
it sounds arrogant, but here's the thing. I've had even people challenge me on that don't like it in the industry that are other formulators. And I said, well, when you become a world-renowned biochemist,
Mm-hmm.
a published author that's been a best-selling author and listed on USA Today and Forbes, when you spoke on over 100 stages, when you've been on over 1,000 radio shows, when you've formulated over 1,000 supplements and patented 25 ingredients, and you've worked clinically as a chief clinical dietitian for 10 years, and you've been a biochemist for 20 years, we'll talk.
And what do they? They just go, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I bet. You should have a world's greatest formula grudge match. You'd kill. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
but so-
just, you know what I'm noticing here is you guys are probably the two fittest people I've ever been around in my life.
No.
You don't think so? What do you mean, no? Right?
No.
I mean, I know what you do every day. You work out. How often do you work out?
6 to 7 days a week.
6 to 7
Yeah,
days
6,
a
7,
week.
but it changes how
6 days a week.
You guys both work out a ton. Protein's a foundational piece of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that was your journey, is to find something that was going to help you transform your body and help you get what you needed. And so you came to Shawn. And so what did you do to the formula that made it better? What did you see in it? And why is this such a good product?
Well, I mean, first off, and I have a business partner, Jake Mulder, that's lifelong great friend, incredible mind on his own, has been in the industry for nearly as long as I have. And we were excited to come into the offices and meet Brian, meet the Canella team as well. And I was blown away with everything is full transparency. Everything was ultra premium ingredients. Brian was trying to do everything the right way. So it was a perfect fit. And it was really me making tweaks in terms of, let's take it up that extra notch. But I'm very selective about who I jump into business with. And all the right pieces were there, like Brian's heart, his integrity, and that was reflected in these products. Yeah. And so that was exciting to me, is like, okay, let's tweak these products. Let's take them up another notch. Let's bring even more research and claims and quality into them, and taste. We'll get into that. But then also let's make more products, other cool products like our greens and, some of the other things that we've been working on, the dihydroberberine, a number of the things. Dihydroberberine.
Okay.
It's an ingredient I patented. It's an active metabolite of berberine, which is a glucose disposal agent. Basically,
dude, I didn't understand one thing.
And this is a brand new product. We just launched it this past month. Okay. Brand new.
Yeah. What does it do for me?
So about 87% of Americans are metabolically dysfunctional.
Okay.
And that relates back to insulin dysregulation, meaning like blood glucose is high, insulin is high, they're not moving their bodies enough, they're having too much high glycemic carbohydrate, all of that kind of stuff. And that is having a massive impact on biological over chronological aging, meaning that they're aging faster than their chronological
So your real age kind of a thing, right?
Exactly. Yeah. As well as almost all diseases are metabolic in nature. So Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, cancer, coronary heart disease, all of these things, obviously diabetes, they're all metabolic in nature, meaning that if you could get your insulin and blood sugar under control, almost all of these diseases disappear.
Does that have to do with inflammation, or is it?
Inflammation and oxidation are very tied to glycation and blood sugar damage.
Okay.
And so they're all kind of correlated, and that's where like all of this stuff ties back. And even one step further back could be mitochondrial dysfunction, and this is why you have low cellular energy and people feel tired all the time. And I don't know where I can get my energy from, and they're just exhausted. And then you're trying to push by adding more sugar, by adding more caffeine,
the high caffeine
adding
drinks,
more alcohol, and you're just like.
And so, what is this called again?
Dihydroberberine.
Dihydroberberine.
And there's a study that actually showed berberine was more effective than metformin, the drug, the famous drug, and that drug has been used for diabetics for years, but it's also been used in anti-aging for years, for about 20 years. And berberine outperformed it. Dihydroberberine is the metabolite, meaning like berberine converts into dihydroberberine in the body.
Yep.
But it doesn't do it well. It has poor bioavailability. People get GI distress. So we use this better form.
Yep.
And really, there's nothing better on the market for anti-aging, better blood sugar health. And when you're a bodybuilder, this actually relates to what's called nutrient partitioning. You're actually pushing more of that blood sugar, that glucose, into muscle rather than fat.
Gotcha.
So a ton of benefits.
I think of protein probably like most people. Like I got to get my steak, I got to get my chicken, or I'm getting protein from, if I'm vegan or vegetarian, I'm getting it from vegetables that are high in protein, but so why transformation protein? Why do you need protein when you're working out? And
well, first of all, I think most people don't realize how much protein you should have, right?
Okay.
I mean, you don't necessarily want to follow the governmental guidelines, right? So, I mean, a good basis, what I look at is generally between 0.75 grams to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight.
Okay.
That's really what you need to have every day. And depending on your size, so like my targets, I try to run between 180 and 200 grams of protein every day. That's really, really hard to do.
Well,
with
equate
chicken
that
breast.
to me. Like, what is that? How much is a chicken breast?
So
or a
chicken
fillet
breast,
or
might be like 30 grams as an example. So you're talking about like 6
Yeah.
chicken breasts
Okay.
a day, right?
Yeah, no.
So it's really, really hard to do. And again, you got to find ways that you can incorporate it through your life, which is why protein shakes are excellent, excellent opportunity to get protein in your body quickly, and especially post workout, which is really.
So
great.
how much protein is in transformation?
So we have 30 grams of protein. So
in one
30
shake.
grams,
So I'm getting
in one
30,
drink.
30 grams in one drink.
Yeah.
And so protein shakes are commoditized. Like you walk into GNC, Vitamin Shop, Costco, it's everywhere. So you decided one day on the beach in Venice somewhere or in Santa Monica, right? Isn't this the story?
Yeah.
You guys can't, light bulb went on and you're like, let's go sell protein in a market where there's like 400 protein shakes out there. And somehow you, as incredible marketers, found a niche and found a way to make this very successful. Over 100,000 people in the funnel are enjoying transformation protein on a monthly basis. So let's start with the light bulb going off and then walk us through a little bit how it became successful.
So my background, so for 15 plus years, I've been in the space as a manufacturer of products. So a co-manufacturer, so making protein shakes, making things for the health and wellness industry for other brands. So I was manufacturing these things. So had a really good pulse of what was in the marketplace, what the right ingredients were, what the right suppliers were, what worked, what didn't work.
And you're talking about this as a contractor for other clients,
for other people.
I've been there in a very clean facility where you're bringing in powders, you're making blends, and you're packaging things and sending it out the door.
Absolute world-class facility.
Yeah.
I mean, third-party quality organizations come in, audit us. We get the top rankings. I mean, we're perennially in the top 1% of the scores that we get, for contract manufacturers across the country. But so I was seeing what was out there, right? And I knew I was going through, while this was happening, I was going through my own health journey and understanding. I was getting older, man. I was 42 years old or whatever it was, 43 years old, trying to get my body back.
It was last year.
Yeah, right. No. It's funny. I feel like when I first started telling the transformation story, it was like, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I'm like, oh shit. Now it's 7 years ago, and I'm going to be 50 this year. So it's like, holy cow. But going through my journey, I didn't understand at first what you needed for protein. And when I really understood that and started working on my nutrition, I really started seeing results. I started seeing my body changing the way I wanted it to change, right? But what I was doing to get protein in my body is I was taking whey protein shakes. And I didn't realize the inflammation. I mean, the GI distress. From
whey,
just that the whey protein shakes and the dairy side of it.
So if you're not going to eat a chicken breast or you're not going to eat a fillet, you're going to get the protein from, like, I think, what is transformation? Pea protein?
Well, no, it's a bunch of different. And that's the uniqueness of transformation. Is I've realized through my own trials and tribulations that I'm not intolerant or sensitive. I just have a little bit of an intolerance to dairy. It creates some inflammation, some GI distress. So I didn't want to have whey. I didn't want to have dairy. But the only other thing I was seeing in the marketplace, the alternative, was plant proteins. So a pea protein, things like that. And the reality of it is, while they're a protein, it's an inferior protein. Shawn can speak to the details of it, but it doesn't have the right mix of the 9 essential amino acids in the right amounts to really have the proper muscle protein synthesis and do. So
amino acids are what's in protein.
Yeah,
and that's what's important to getting you what you need.
Exactly. Okay. And you got to have the 9 essentials, right? And you got to have them in the right ratios. And again, Shawn could speak to this, but leucine, as an example, you need 3 grams of leucine to really fire proper muscle protein synthesis, and you're not going to get that with a plant-based protein. So I wanted the dairy-free version. The alternative was plant, which was inferior. There was nothing in the middle. So that's where the light bulb went off in our experience. And my experience in the manufacturing space was there's got to be another way to do this. So we ended up formulating with multiple different protein sources. So yes, we do use pea protein. We use pumpkin seed protein. We use egg white protein, and we use collagen. And you put all those together, and now we have a total protein, meaning we have this balance of all 9 essential amino acids like a whey protein, but dairy-free, keeping down the inflammation, keeping down the GI distress.
Yeah. So
that's really at the
you were
core
part
of
of this
that.
formulation, this new formulation that got this like perfect blend, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah, so exactly. So there's the essential amino acids, like Brian was talking about, the 9 amino acids, of which leucine is probably the most key. You probably heard of BCAAs, the branch chain amino acids. Those are 3 of the 9. So that's leucine, valine, and isoleucine. We actually added those to boost this up.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we look at plant protein studies, it's not equivalent. Protein is not equivalent. It matters what the amino acids are in that protein. And in plant protein in particular, leucine is very low. And there's studies that show that it has about half the muscle protein synthesis. So you either need to take twice the protein of a plant protein as you would like an animal protein, or add additional leucine to your plant protein.
Yeah.
Well, what we did was make sure we have the proper ratio of all 9 essential amino acids from a variety of sources.
Mm-hmm.
We boosted it up also with the additional BCAAs, including leucine, to hit that 3-gram mark like Brian is talking about.
Mm-hmm.
We have 30 grams, which it's important to get a proper bolus, that's the word for it, of protein, enough protein, and in one shot. It actually doesn't work if you have kind of protein throughout the day. Remember kind of like the 90s thing of like, eat like 6
eat a
to
little
8
bit,
small
eat
meals.
some-
That doesn't work.
Okay. No.
It actually does not
You
work
need to
per
load it at
research.
once.
You need loads. And so that's very difficult to do. Otherwise, if you're not getting a protein shake or eating a big enough meal, and sometimes that's hard for people. And as we age, we become more insulin resistant, as I was just talking about. We become more anabolically resistant or leucine resistant because we're not having our testosterone levels drop. And this is true in men and women.
Yeah.
So it's harder to keep muscle on. And because, again, insulin is staying elevated and blood sugar is elevated. So it's harder for us to keep muscle on.
Yeah.
And so it gets even harder to have a big enough bolus of protein as we're aging.
To sustain it. Yeah.
As we get older, it's harder to eat, big meals. You're going to
Yeah.
have less protein in your meals. And now you're also resistant to that protein as we're aging. So it's this double whammy.
Yeah.
Where you're putting on more fat and losing muscle as we age. And then as you lose that muscle mass, your bones begin to weaken because they're not supporting that muscle. So
I mean, I can testify to that fact. I mean, the more I lift weights, the easier it is on my joints, the more I can still continue to play basketball 3 days a week, that kind of thing. So,
it strengthens your bones too.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Muscle pays for the party at the end of the day. It
Yeah.
does. I mean, muscle's just
I
so
like that.
important.
Muscle pays for the party.
Yeah, it's so important for longevity. It's so important for your day-to-day life. I mean, that's one of the biggest problems as we age is lack of muscle and losing muscle.
Yeah. So transformation protein. So it's 30 grams. Am I drinking this? And I love it. We'll get into the flavor profile. This is fantastic. You guys have done a great job of
Thank you.
finding that balance between what you need and then actually making it digestible. So how do you use it? Do you use it once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day? I mean,
I use it at least once a day. Every now and then I'll use it twice a day, depending on how my day went. So I'm a morning workout guy. I get up, I work out. I usually work out in a fasted state. So as soon as I finish my workout, I'm on my protein shake.
right afterwards.
Right afterwards. It's the easiest.
And that's the best thing to do, right? I've heard when you come out of a
Start
fast, first thing you should do is eat a very clean, good protein for yourself, right?
Yeah, everything is primed.
And by the way, there's no better reward. You just finished a hard-ass workout.
Right.
You just busted yourself up. Having a delicious protein shake is like the reward at the end. So, I mean, it's awesome from that standpoint, too.
Yeah, and it gets you full.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It kind of bridges that. You don't really need to eat a full meal then to keep going. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the flavor a little bit.
We started with vanilla. So the very first flavor we formulated was vanilla, mainly because it's just a nice base. So many people have so many different palates, so many different flavor profiles that they like. And of course, vanilla you can do so many things with. You can make your own smoothie. You can add anything to vanilla. It's going to taste great. Then the natural pairing. So vanilla ice cream is technically our taste. So there's some different shades of vanilla. But vanilla ice cream is where we're at in the vanilla. And then we have chocolate lava cake. So it's a really decadent, really rich chocolate. But doing so with no sugar. We're doing so with no artificial flavors, no artificial sweeteners, no sugar.
No artificial sweeteners.
No artificial sweeteners.
So what's the sweetener? Like a stevia? Or
Yep.
it is.
Stevia and a
monk
little bit of
fruit.
monk fruit.
Yes, but, okay. And monk fruit. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they taste fantastic. 95% of the people are going to take vanilla or chocolate. What's your What do the consumers take? What's the balance between the two?
60% vanilla, 40% chocolate.
60%.
We're almost kids every week.
That's almost flipped
60,
from a lot
40,
of other things.
60,
I wonder
40.
if that's because it's a protein and people are adding stuff to it.
I think so.
It is.
Yeah, because you don't want to add something to chocolate as much. Just
right. Vanilla is just an incredible base.
It
to
is.
mix with.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably about 50-50 that people are, choosing vanilla or chocolate, but that other percentage, the 10%, let's say, are mixing it. Like I mix sometimes berries into it. Yeah. I mix like cold brew coffee into it, something like that, and it's delicious.
Our transformation greens mixes awesome in it.
It does. It does.
It really does.
The berry flavor.
It's a berry flavored greens, and it tastes awesome in it.
Well, before we get to greens, let's go back to, so you're sitting on the beach, and how does the light bulb go on about, we need to come up with, we know your journey, but now you're going to actually get into formulating this product and actually come out with something and start marketing.
Yeah. So, I mean, we went through the formulation process. This was back in 2018, came up with a product that just absolutely loved, hit it out of the park with it. I started using it myself and it worked. Right. Yep. And I was seeing results, and I went, we have our manufacturing, we have some background. So, if it's working for me and I love it, why not try to get it out to the marketplace? Let's see if other people would love it as well, and if this fits a need for them as well, like it did for me. So we started marketing the product direct to consumer. We built a website, started putting together some social media ads, trying to explain the product. That's actually probably one of the, you mentioned earlier, tremendous amount of competition in the marketplace. Yeah. One of the most difficult things that we have is how do we let people know how we're different, why we're different, what is different about transformation, right? And educating them on that. So we put together some social media ads, tested it, got it out there, and lo and behold, people were responding.
Yeah, and why were they responding? What was the hook? What was the messaging, the uniqueness of what you just explained? Like, if you're a protein person, and I hear what you guys just said, I'm like, I'm all in. Like, obviously, you've done your research and you guys are experts.
Well, one thing we haven't mentioned yet, collagen is very hot right now. People are saying, like, collagen is something we need more of. I think we probably need up to like 50 grams a day. Now that we're eating protein, if you're someone who's non-vegan, you're eating the muscle flesh, but you're not eating, which is good for muscle protein synthesis and leucine and the essential amino acids like we're talking about, but you're not eating the connective tissue. You're not eating the bone. We're not eating the skin and all the joint tissue we used to, right?
Right.
And so you're missing out on all that collagen. And a third of the protein in our body is collagen. And it is making up our hair, skin, nails, our gut, our bone. And it's super important. And so we have the proteins that support muscle, and we have the protein that supports everything else. So this is really a whole body protein.
Yeah. So you have collagen in the transformation protein as well.
Yeah, we call it a total body protein because it's got things, for your muscles, for your gut. The other thing we didn't talk about is we have digestive enzymes, probiotics, fiber, MCT powder, so really good for brain health. Yeah. So we're trying to impact the total body, right? Yeah. Total body transformation is what we're trying to impact, and that resonated, I think, with people. Especially,
for sure. I mean, you guys, when you look at the market that you've penetrated, the foundational people that have stuck with you and have followed you are the boutique gyms, the people that really know the science behind this stuff. So when you speak, it resonates. And they love it, right? And that's one of the foundational pieces of why I know why this has taken off. Yeah. And we know from a marketing standpoint, from the digital ads that we run, from the talent that we bring, the social influencers that we bring into it, these are people that people trust because they're listening to you and they're saying, we believe in every piece of what you're saying. Kind of, why you stalked him in his DM early on. But so far, it's just been a digital effort.
Correct.
And so talk about that. So you went with influencers. Talk about your experience. Because we know from a marketing standpoint how social influencing has morphed over the years. It started where you could go with somebody that had 1 million followers, 10 million followers. You put product placement, and you could have success. You could have positive ROI. And now, not really. That's more for branding and brand response people. As we say here, if somebody has an agent, we're not doing a deal. Right. It's got to be more organic. It's got to be something that believes in the product, the owner's story, all of that kind of stuff is the hot topic of today. And I think we found that with you too, right? The genuineness.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not a trainer. I'm not a certified trainer. I'm not a certified nutritionist. But I am somebody that's worked in the industry for a very, very long time, and I ask a lot of questions, and I garner knowledge. Yeah. And that's kind of like how I got to where we got to. And I think that resonates with people. I think that, I'm like that person next door that was going through the same challenges as me. I was 42 years old. I let my body go. I mean, I was a college athlete. I was in great shape when I was younger, and at 42, I looked at myself. I was making products for the health and wellness space, and I'm like, what the hell happened to me, man? And what happened was life. You know, I mean, daughter, married, job, working my butt off, and I'm looking at myself going, I'm making products for the health space, and I'm not healthy.
You weren't walking the walk.
I've got to fix this, and quick.
But
that's how we started. And people resonate to that and understand like what worked for me.
Yeah. And when you first started, you were not the face of Transformation Protein, really.
No.
Right? So you went out and you said, this is going to be the face. This is going to be the face.
Yeah.
And at some point, the light bulb goes on and we say, look, you created this. You are walking and talking and you got to own it. And that genuineness, that's what people want.
I think
they want that story.
When we launched, and you're right, I mean, the first people that we used that were the face of transformation were like famous trainers, some like celebrity type of trainers, people you've seen on TV and seen on shows and have a pop culture following. And it was great. That was awesome. But again, I think to your point, when they hear it from me, it's a personal story and they understand it and they connect to that. And where we see the most success now is in it's called UGC or user-generated content. But I'm telling you, the people that you see in our ads that are talking about their successes with transformation, I personally talk to every single one of them. And you can see, even if they reach out and they're like, I love your product, I'd like to do something. I'm like, I need to hear your story. I need to hear how you feel about the product. I need to know why you like this product. Because I don't want you putting the transformation name out there if you're not a true believer in the product and you don't use the product. I mean, you can hire somebody and have somebody talk about it, but again, that's not going to resonate, right? And when we have those true users, and that's important, the user-generated content, these are users of Transformation Protein, and when they talk about it, people get it.
Yeah, and you own the company, right? Like, so the formulator owns the company, you own the company, and you are out there speaking the truth about it and transforming it along the way, changing it so that you're at the cutting edge of what's going on in the industry right now. But you're right. It's not just that. It's about, like, Jeff is a great spokesperson for transformation. He is just genuine. And it's funny because we some of the social media ads that we've run, we think, it's always, are you going to tell the consumer or let the consumer tell you? And it's always you let the consumer tell you, right? Some of the influencers that we've had, we were like, oh, this is going to crush. This is going to be unbelievable. And it doesn't work. And then you have somebody like Jeff or
Christine. Christine was like, I think Christine was our first user-generated videos, right?
And that emotion and that true belief in the product, it comes across on film. You just can't beat it. You know that these people are actually in love with this product and they look the way. And by the way, I mean, I can't believe the number of 50-year-olds that are on this product that I see that I'm like, holy crap, are you kidding me? They look 35 years old to me.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's unreal.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so good. So, well, let's go from this. So let's talk about greens. It's not just about the protein. Now you've moved into the green drink. You know, Athletic Greens has been out there. They've been crushing it, right? Fill the funnel, $100 a month. Let's knock Athletic Greens a little bit, but let's talk about your greens product as well.
I love that they're out there.
Yeah.
I love that. Like, it's just like I was just talking about with collagen, collagen being hot. We have that, like gut health being hot. We have that. And now that everyone's getting keen to greens and their benefits, they're seeing, well, one, this product is insanely expensive. It's way kind of over formulated and a mess. Like, there's just too many ingredients. It's ridiculous. It has like really inferior forms of the vitamins in it and minerals, and just, it's a lot of garbage. And lastly, it tastes terrible. Mm-hmm. Like, it's one of those things that, like, I know would just sit on your shelf every day and you just look at it and you're like, I spent a lot of money on this and I'm in a subscription and it's sitting there. I should be drinking this, but I don't want to drink that. It's like dirty fish tank. It's like, I don't want to drink that.
Dirty fish tank.
So we set out to do something very different. And I believe this formula, one, is just loaded with efficacy, meaning it really works. You do feel energized. It really feels like a cup of coffee. And I'm not exaggerating about that. The ingredients are amazing and the taste is great. And we're all drinking it right now. And it tastes like a soft drink. And again, no sugar, no artificial sweeteners. So this is like stevia, monk fruit, just natural stuff. and it tastes amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No stimulants in the product,
Mhm.
you know, and it's incredible the energy.
So
that you see.
what's in there? Can you name some of the things that are in there, or should I ask the formulator?
Oh, you probably he's the
He's
one
going to
that's
rattle
doing it,
them
but
off.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
like
yeah,
nine amino acid. Da 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 da. All right.
I'll let this guy tackle that one for sure. Watch this.
I'm interested to hear what like the ingredients.
Should we test him first?
No. I mean, Brian knows them. We've already talked about it a lot. He knows his products. But like chlorella and spirulina are known as like the kind of core and wheatgrass, like core greens that are alkalizing, that are nutrient dense, that have a lot of chlorophyll in them, like nature's energy. But also there's stuff like there's a lot of fruit and berry extracts that are in there. Things like bilberry, things like acerola that's like high in vitamin C. Like there's a broccoli extract that's been shown to have anti-cancer benefits. And then one of the most unique ingredients that we're really excited about that I was instrumental in bringing to market is an ingredient called ergothioneine.
Okay.
And it occurs naturally in mushrooms, certain beans, and organ meats. And what's really cool is this ingredient, it's actually trace amino acid. It may become a new vitamin. And we haven't had a new vitamin in, 80 years.
Who's that up to?
Well, it's up to the FDA in particular. Okay. But this ingredient, we've shown that there's a deficiency for it in your body. Mm-hmm. And that's part of it being a potential vitamin. And when people don't have enough of it, there's a number of diseases that are related to it, and in particular cognitive diseases. You have a unique transporter system for this ingredient in your body. Mm-hmm. That I can't even, like, people might not resonate with that, but like there's very few things that we're taking in that have a unique transporter, like maybe iron. Iron is like critical to life. Mm-hmm. You have a unique storage system for it in your body. So this ingredient
your body's made to have
It's made to have it.
But we don't have it.
But we don't have it.
Because it used to exist in the foods we ate, and now it's gone because of what?
Again, going back to like when we probably ate organ meats and we ate things like mushrooms. We're not eating these things anymore, and we're not getting the levels like we used to.
Ergothioneine?
Yeah, and so it's a mitochondrial antioxidant. It actually protects that cellular powerhouse. If you remember high school biology, the mitochondria was producing ATP, and that's giving you energy. That's your body's currency, its fuel source for you feeling vital, for you feeling energized. And
that's in there.
That's in here.
I mean, it's at the core of cellular health, right? Your mitochondrial health and longevity. I mean, it's incredible.
And again, that goes back to what I was talking about with metabolic dysfunction and all these people that have diseases and faster aging.
Yeah.
So this is at the core of that. This is a really exciting new ingredient, and you can't find it in athletic greens. You can't find it in any other greens.
And how much is greens?
And by the way, he didn't give himself enough credit here. It tastes ridiculously good. I mean, this product, he mentioned about how bad they taste. I mean, it's such a light berry, fresh, refreshing berry flavor. I mean, I drink it while I work out just because it is just, I feel like I'm regenerating.
It is pretty amazing that you got that flavor profile.
Tastes to not have artificial sweeteners, to not have sugars in there, and it tastes like this, like it can be done. I don't think people realize it can be really good for you, and it can taste incredible.
And it's not $100.
And it's not $100. It's not $100.
That's good. Well, you guys are here. We're going to go to dinner. I'm afraid to order. I'm going to let you guys order for me. You're here. We're going to
eat protein.
TV work tomorrow. Get you guys back out on in front of the camera. Do some social media work. Get some pre-roll ads for YouTube going, so you can tell this story to the masses and get this product in everybody's hands. But congratulations. Thanks for being a client. Thanks for coming here and talking about this stuff and how you guys came to be, and just keep transforming shit and making good stuff and getting it out there.
We really appreciate it. And the Canella team has just been incredible to work with. I mean, it's an incredible group of individuals that work their butt off. And I mentioned how our big challenge is getting the message out and explaining our difference. They do such a great job boiling that message down, making it clear, and letting us get it out to the public and getting out in those channels so we can tell people about transformation, the uniqueness of transformation.
Well, we love being part of your success.
Kudos to Canella for that.
It's good. It's fun. Keep it up.
Let's make millions.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. Take care, guys.
So good, so fresh.
For more content like this, subscribe to Let's Make Millions and get alerts for all future episodes.